what's up? Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Danny, and I don't know what compelled me to snitch on myself like this. I'm in this cute ass Airbnb. I'm chilling, and I was okay. So I made the story time about my ex, and I realized I was like, you know what? I want to be honest with y'all. Not that I have to explain myself or that I owe it to y'all. I mean, of course, I always owe y'all honesty. Oh wait, should I set a timer? I'll just watch the time. Anyways, but I am not obligated to always share my sexual endeavors, and I don't have many. That's the thing. I'm very reserved. I was celibate for like 2 years before I met my ex. And after my ex, the first person I decided to give myself to after we had split ways and was being messy or whatever, but we were not together, was Budapest Boy. That's what I call him. That's his new name in my storyline. And this is where his story ends, but I wanted to share it with y'all because it was the most bizarre experience I've ever had. And it was really gross, unfortunately. Like, it could have been so sweet and so nice, but it just ended up being like complete bullshit. So I was in Budapest. If you watch my D&D vlogs where I've been traveling and stuff like that, if you saw my energy change in Budapest, your girl got a little depressed. yeah. If you know I'm on my D&D adventures because I had a very toxic situation with my ex. I actually just made that story time. Yeah, 3 years of an insane, intense relationship. I left very abruptly, and next thing you know, I was traveling the world. So at some point, I came back from Asia and I'm in Budapest, right? I go to the club. Mind you, I got people trying to fuck all the time. I'm not even trying to be full of myself. It actually gets nauseating, like no joke, after a while. You get so objectified, and that's people who don't know that I'm a sex worker. Just as a normal woman, you get so objectified. The amount of people that want me to smoke, drink, like, you could tell people don't have a personality when they're constantly trying to push some type of substance on you so they can slip into your pants. It's really scary, actually. But I had like one bad club, not bad, but one annoying club experience where like these guys kept buying drinks, whatever. And it was a group of us, and then they were trying to take me home. I was like, no. I posted on my Instagram story because it was the same night. Yeah, it was the same night. Was it? No. Was it the same night? Yeah, that was all the same night. Oh my gosh. So the guys I was with in the little group, right? It was a group of us, girls, guys, whatever, was trying to fuck. And I was at the club looking good. Your girl was in Budapest looking fine. Whew, Budapest was a movie, baby. Everybody was just trying to, like, I had a few people hit on me, grab my arm, hey. So I kept turning people down politely. I'm going to smile and say, oh, sorry, no, thank you, like, you know, keep it pushing. I'm in the middle of the motherfucking dance floor, dancing my heart away. And there's this guy, like, at one point, he had pulled me, and he's like, hey, can I ask you a question? I was like, yeah, what's up? And he, like, blanked out. And then the friend I was with, like, okay, yeah, you took too long, let's go. So we kept it moving. So then he saw me again on the other dance floor. He's like, hey, I still got a question. I was like, bro, like spit it out. I wasn't rude. I was like, come on, like, what's your question? Like, what's up? He was like, I was like, okay, yeah, thank you, bye. At this point, when this guy comes up to me again, because I'm like, what is, like, are you good? Are you on something? Like, the way he's like, I got a question. I was like, are you gonna ask it? Anyways, I wasn't attracted to nobody in the club that night, not a single soul. I end up turning. I could tell it's gonna be a 30-minute story time. My bad, y'all. I turn, and there's this guy there. And I thought it was the same guy grabbing me to ask me a question for the third motherfucking time. I was about to, don't get me tense. Don't get me tense. I turn, I'm about to like, okay, what is your fucking question? Because you was off something. Why are you bothering me? I turn, I look up, I was like, oh. Tallest man in the room. Yeah, I'm pretty attractive. White boy, I usually don't, you know, I don't discriminate. But I usually like kind of just stick with my own, you know, not on purpose, but that's just kind of my thing. He's wearing like a coat. They be wearing, because Europe's cold. So they be wearing like coat. I mean, you can coat check stuff. People be wearing coats and sweaters in the club and shit like that. So he's wearing like a puffy jacket. He looks good. He looks like, according to society, he looks good. He's objectively attractive. And he was like, hi. I was like, oh, all right, you can talk to me. So anyways, first I had to say, okay, like he looks interesting. His English was like perfection. Not that I needed to be, but his English was perfect. And I forgot how the interaction actually went specifically, like what was said. Damn, what was said in that moment? I don't want to sit here and make shit up. I think maybe we introduced ourselves, and then he said something about like he was gonna ask if I was okay because that guy kept asking me stuff. I looked like I was getting annoyed with the guy. I was like, oh, protective type. I like that. Okay. I was like, yeah, I'm good. Thank you. And then he said something about like your energy just drew me over here, so I felt compelled to come talk to you. Like he was very poetic. Y'all, he was very poetic. Like the way he spoke was elegant. He knew what he was doing. He's also a sex worker. And we pretty slick with our mouths. We sweet talking, okay? So I should have known. But anyways, so he's saying all this like elegant ass shit, like, yeah, I had to come talk to you, your energy. I was like, oh, thanks. Da, da, da. So we exchanged IGs, and then I had asked if I can give him a hug. I don't know. It was really random, but I said bye, and I was like, can I give you a hug? He's like, yeah. And then we hugged, and that was good. And I was like, okay. So that was interaction. I'm partying, I'm chilling, whatever. I'm ready to leave the club. I'm sitting here, I'm like, he's fine. He a fuck boy. I already know it. I know he's not looking for no. I knew it, baby. I know. I already just know. I know he ain't looking for a relationship. I ain't trying to date him either. The fuck? Like, don't assume. He assumed later. He was like, you trying to make me your boyfriend or something? I was like, please sit down. Your ego's crazy. I know we both Leos, but damn, like, your ego's insane. Nobody said nothing about you being my boyfriend, baby daddy, husband, none of it. Like, I actually clarified before I left the club. So I'm about to go. The other two dudes in a group we was with, they was like, Danny, come on. Because they was both trying to, anyway, I was like, bro, like, y'all, I was like, let me take this walk on home because y'all pissing me off. Anyways, they were trying to get me to leave the club. I was sitting there, I was like, don't want to stay. I'm going out. Another guy grabs me. I was like, Budapest is hungry for your girl. Y'all is hungry. Another guy grabs me. He's like, yeah, we should make out. I was like, bye. Anyways, I see dude in the other room because it's a huge room. Like it's a bunch of rooms actually. It was one of the like the famous clubs or whatever. A whole bunch of rooms. I see him in the room. I was like, oh, he's with a girl. I was like, oh. I was like, I'm not gonna be assumptive. I'm not gonna be aggressive. I don't know you. We didn't establish anything. But I went over and, no, because I had texted him. That's what happened. I texted him on IG immediately because I was about to leave the club anyways. I go, you're very attractive. And then it didn't like say seen or anything like that. I was like, okay, so he didn't see it, whatever. I'm gonna leave. And I'm not the type where I'm like, text me back right now. I've never been the type. But if I know you're intentionally doing shit, once I find out, then now you kind of piss me off. And now I'm ready to cut you off. So anyways, I'm about to leave the club and I see him. I was like, oh, let me just go tell him in person so we can establish that, like, you know, maybe I'll have my first hookup since my ex, maybe. And I don't give myself to people, but I just had this, like, I was hurting. I was like, you know, he's been real polite. He wasn't pushy. He didn't ask about nothing. I was like, maybe he could get it safely, of course, always safely. And so I'm sitting here thinking, I was like, you know what? And I know it's just fuckboy energy. I was like, we could be safe. And I had my own Airbnb at the time too in Budapest. Honey, I was like, I've been chilling by myself for a month, maybe, and you know, and for a minute I thought maybe he could be a friend. So I really didn't know, but I went up and he was with this girl and I was like, hey, like, excuse me, like, because I didn't want to interrupt. And I asked him later. I wasn't going to ask him for a face, like, who is that or whatever. Because it was a flirty context. It was a very flirty context. It was already established that this was flirty. So I assumed the girl he was with was just a friend. And it was. He told me later, like, that's just my colleague because he works in the adult field as well. Same as me. So I'm sorry, all this yabba dabbing doing just for the beginning. Let's speed it up, okay? So I go up to him and I was like, it was nice to meet you again. I'll see you. And he's like, yeah, you too. And the way he's smiling in front of her, I'm like, it wasn't like a shade thing. It wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna come talk to you in front of her. I could already tell they was friends. The way they was interacting was really awkward. They're both kind of standing there. Obviously, you was just flirting with me. You in the same club. You're not gonna do that to her. So I was like, I already kind of knew the relationship dynamic. So I go up to him. And again, it wasn't no weird shit like, oh, I'm trying to da-da-da-da. I had just like brought his ear to me, right? Because he like kind of stepped to the side a little bit so we could chat. And I was like, I'm about to leave, but it's crazy because like we should have been making out already. Because we both smooth talkers. We are both sex workers and smooth talkers. And I found out later he was a sex worker. Once he saw the link in my bio, he was like, oh, we kind of work in the same field. So he was like, oh. And then he told me, he's like, well, we could be saving all of that and more for later or whatever. So clearly there's a sexual undertone. I was like, okay. Ain't nobody trying to ain't nobody asking to marry me. Ain't nobody asking for a goddamn ring. So I leave. Some days go by or whatever. And he's like super chatty, it's basically a ghosting story, y'all. But it gets crazy. Like at the end, it gets crazy. So stay tuned, okay? When I called him out for hurting my feelings, I don't want to skip ahead too much, but when I called him out for hurting my feelings and ghosting, he ignored me. Silence. I was like, hey, you hurt my feelings. It was fucked up. Silence. When I told him his game was weak, oh, honey, look, guess who popped back up on the screen? But we going to talk about that. So I go home. I'm chilling. I'm minding my business. Budapest is a vibe. I got friends there. We chilling or whatever. And he texted at one point. And I could tell, you know, now in retrospect, it's so easy to tell. Like, he wanted me to get attached and to chase and be like, hey, you didn't text me back. Hey, where you at? Hey, da-da-da. Like, he wanted me irritated. I could tell. And later, he even admitted to it. He's like, I'm crazy. I play games. I play mind games. There's something wrong with me. So it's like, I can't even be mad at this story time. Also, there's something else that was going on that was pretty heavy, which I'll admit. So I'm letting it slide. and I should have reacted better, but like it was just a weird situation. But I also think because of this heavy thing that was happening, that's why he was also maybe acting like that, plus his personality of being like a boy and a player or whatever. But he was so sweet, and like, so he was tall, he was attractive. I was like, okay, cool. Like I usually don't go for tall attractive types because I kind of already know what time most of them be on, to be honest. So I had this like, you know what, for the one time, when's the last time I had a hookup? Like what? I can't even remember. So he texted me one day and we're talking. He's like, I box, I do MMA. I'm like, you sound strong. Like, so I'm already getting excited. I'm like, maybe he could be a bodyguard I could pay or something like that when I go on my little trips or something. Some places I'm good by myself, but I was like, maybe, or like I don't know. So anyways, he was like, yeah, I'm watching this with my friends right now. We both night owls. We up early in the morning, 2 a.m., 3 a.m. type of chats. So he said something. I was like, well, if you want to come over or whatever, because I think I'm already establishing, hey, I'm just trying to hook up. I left the club saying we should be making out and you agreed. So I'm not even trying to be your friend or your girl or nothing right now. So I thought I already established the tone. He texted, he said something about like we should hang out or come over or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, cool. He's like, I'll text you after this. And then he disappeared. I was playing it cool. I was like, all right, whatever. I was actually genuinely busy. I wasn't like, oh, let me play it cool. Like I was really busy. He went off the grid and I went to sleep because like it was like 3 a.m. So he disappeared or whatever. We're talking. We're sending voice messages. I like the sound of his voice. I'm sending him back. Like he's speaking poetically, y'all. Oh my God. He sounds like he's the male version of me. He's like, oh, she's a Leo just like me, this and the third. Like the way he's speaking is so enticing. I was like, wow. Like I was actually, I'll admit, like I was struck for the first time, not romantically, but for the first time I was like very intimately impressed because I do that for work. I hit the, hi baby, you feeling good today? I missed you. I haven't had anybody do that to me. I have not been properly seduced with a voice. He was the first one who did that. So I'm compelled. Y'all, I found out later, like he is basically a mod. You know, I'm a cam girl. He's a mod for cam girls and he works in an actual like studio in somewhere in Hungary or whatever. So I should have known, but he's sweet talking, all that stuff. So it just comes with the territory. That's why we're able to do it. What happened? So it got to the point I had asked like, because I was like, maybe he actually wants to be a friend. Like he's talking a lot for somebody I'm just trying to like, I think I'm just trying to hook up with. I'm trying as in like, it's been a while, but I'm open to it. And I could tell he's, you know, boy. So I had asked him, I was like, do you want to go out on a picnic or do you want to do this? And then like, he kind of ignored that. I was like, okay, whatever. Like, but he keeps saying like, yeah, we got to hang out. But he's like, I'm so busy. Oh my God, that was the shit that really pissed me off. He's like, I'm so busy. I'm like, I'm busy too. Like you make time for what you want to make time for. And if you're not trying to hit, like, don't do that. Ego was already getting involved. So he kind of had this like, no on the, hanging out during the day or whatever. I'm like, listen, I told you I left the club saying we should be making out. Like, I don't know what else I need to say. I'm not chasing you. So there was one day I was drunk and I come back and I let him know. I was just like straight up dominant. I'm like, what's good? Like, where you at? Like, what are we doing? And he's like, oh, I'm working this, that, and the third. I was like, come get me from the club. Cause maybe it's the dominance in my work. Like I was getting into my dominatrix thing too at the time. And I was like, I'm at the club. I just finished drinking this, that, and the third. Like, are you gonna come get me or not? Are you gonna stay there? He was joking around. He's like, well, what are your intentions with me? And I was like, you gotta find out. Like we was flirting heavy. He was playing hard to get. I was playing hard to get. And it was an interesting dynamic because we were both acting like, okay, I'm not gonna come to you, you come to me. So there was a dominance versus dominance issue, which is crazy because I'm extremely submissive. So I was just like, all right, this is a new dynamic. And I could feel it with the energy in the room, but it was weird. We're gonna get to that. So I'm like, come get me. We could walk back to my place or whatever, take the metro. And he was like, okay, I get off at work at this and the third. And I'm like, only if you want to. He's like, yeah. So he comes to my crib. Y'all, I would not recommend this because this is a stranger coming into my Airbnb. People lose their lives over this. Please, please, please be careful. I was going off of energy, which felt really good. But then after we got lit, I'm not going to specify, it felt weird. And I'm safe and it was fine. I was not in any danger, but I now know that the weird feeling was grief and like heaviness because he was going through some shit, but I wasn't in harm's way. But I'm an energy person. So before at the club, oh, fine. Talking on the phone, oh, fine. Got into the Airbnb. And for me, if I'm lit, I'm not going to say how I was lit because we were hungry, but I get paranoid when I'm too lit off a certain, if I'm off, okay, all right, nothing bad. Nature's medicine, okay? If I am too lit, I get a little nervous and paranoid. So he comes to the Airbnb, right? And I'm like, okay. it was very impromptu. Like, I didn't even clean up. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, listen, I gotta clean up this and the third. He was being real chill about it, real sweet, real poetic or whatever. I was like, cool. So he comes with like a duffel bag. I was like, oh fuck no. And I did look inside. Honey, I did. Call me nosy. I don't give a fuck. But he plays soccer. So he came with his soccer duffel bag. But at one point when he went to the bathroom, I definitely unzipped the side to make sure there wasn't nothing crazy in there. And it was just soccer stuff. So I was like, okay, we good. Because where's my kitchen knife? The fuck? And I would never do that. I'm sorry. I can't. Like, it was a risk that I should not have taken. But at the moment, it felt safe. So anyways, he comes over. We are chilling off nature's medicine or whatever, which was I think it was just a bad idea. It should have been a sober experience. We was drinking. We was lit. I'm cleaning up. I'm playing music. He likes my music. I was like, who do you listen to? He's like, Caesar, some Walker, this and that. I was like, oh, cultured white boy. We like it. We like it. It speaks perfect. Couldn't even tell he was Hungarian, honestly. It doesn't matter. But like, his English was completely fluent. Honestly, Europeans are very, very smart. So I'm not trying to say that it's like, oh, I'm surprised. But yeah, perfect English. Like, he's culture. He's with the culture. He could dress. He ain't bad looking overall. Like, it's a vibe. It's a vibe. So we chilling at some points or whatever. And we were not talking at all. I was cleaning the crib. We didn't talk for a minute. Sometimes I'd like check up on him or ask him if he want anything like water or drink or whatever. I had some wine I'd offered. But like for the first 30, 45 minutes, we were not talking about shit. So I don't know why he made it seem like I talk too much. He told me, he's like, you talk too much. I was like, we supposed to sit in silence the whole time and stare at each other? So I did on the way, I was asking questions. When we got to the crib, I wasn't asking shit. Because I got to make sure you're not crazy and you're not going to at me, okay? So I was like, what's your name? What's your last name? How tall are you? Like, I was very, very blunt. Texting people like, okay, hey, I'm with somebody. This is this information. Like, it's that simple. So I was asking a lot of questions. If you don't want to ask me questions back, that's fine. You don't have to be interested. Like I said, I think I'm trying to hook up. I don't know. It's been a minute. I think that's what we're doing here. And so I'm asking questions for safety as a woman. You think I'm being nosy and over talkative. I was like, how tall are you? Like, straight up asking, like, because if something happens, I want information on you. Okay, like, and he was pretty like skinny-ish. I felt like I could take him on, but the boxing and MMA is like new. So I'm like, okay, that's gonna throw me off. Because if you know some like skills, you know, I gotta be a little more careful. So I'm asking security questions, honey. This is trying to log into this pussy. Okay, if you're trying to log into this pussy, I need to know the security questions on who the fuck you actually are. Like, so I'm asking questions later. He's like, oh, you talk too much to the third. But at the crib, I didn't say nothing. We weren't talking. So it gets to the point I'm cleaning. Like, he's in the living room just chilling or whatever, like, lit. We're just really chilling. I showed him the rooftop because I had a cute-ass rooftop in Budapest. He's like, oh, yeah, this is the vibe. He went out there. I was like, promise you won't jump off. Like, we were just making, like, cryptic, dark-ass jokes, which was fun. Like, you know, like, a little dark humor, but nothing too serious. So at one point, I finished cleaning. And then, like, it got to the point where we was lit, so I couldn't even, like, focus on, I mean, it was clean, yes, but I couldn't focus on what I was trying to do. I was like, let me just sit and enjoy some music. So he's sitting on the couch, I'm sitting there. I'm like, ooh, I'm a little nervous. I'm with a boy, like a little schoolgirl crush or whatever. So he ended up telling me something really heavy, and I'll get to that in a second. But like, I started getting paranoid. It might have been nature's medicine or whatever, but like his energy just felt like a little uncomfy. It was fine. It was fine. But it was like, it was what was sitting heavy on his chest, because I guess the alcohol and the nature's medicine brought it out. But the key I had in Budapest, you need to use the key to get out. You don't just unlock the door, like front door. You have to use the key. So I kept the key with me because I was like, I don't want no weird shit happening. Like, if I need to, I don't know. And it just got a little weird. Like, he was so quiet. So I was like, okay. And I was like looking at the bag, and then he's like, can I use the restroom? I got a little nervous because I got a little paranoid. Sometimes you be a little lit and you get paranoid. And so I had this like, and he was saying like little like awkward things that I was overthinking about. We were joking about stuff, but then he said something. He's like, yeah, you know, Eastern Europeans are crazy or this and the third. And then we were joking about some stuff. I was like, you're not gonna do this and the third. I was like, you won't push me off the roof, right? He's like, not if you don't push me first, and stuff like that. So we kept joking like that. But then at one point I genuinely got paranoid because I was like, oh my gosh, like there's a stranger in my crib. There's a random Hungarian man in my like Airbnb. I was like, bitch, you lost it. Like, what the fuck's in the duffel bag? So it ended up being fine. He goes to the bathroom because it got a little awkward because I started getting a little nervous because I was just like, wait, who the fuck are you? Like, I was just like, never do this, but it was nature's medicine messing with my head because I was like, we were off the same like level of like, you know, but I'm a lightweight. So like, I was sitting there, I was like, okay, he's be lit every day. He's doing all that, you know, every day. I mean, I don't be doing that often. It was months since I've been like, you know. So I'm sitting there, I was like, wait, who the fuck are you? Like, bro. So I got a little paranoid. I could tell he was offended. And then I was just like, I'm sorry. I was like, promise, like, you're cool peoples. And he's like, no, I promise. Like, we kept making jokes and shit like that. So anyways, I had to get over the paranoia. Like, it kept coming in waves or whatever. But the energy was, something was going on with the energy. I'm a huge energy person. And usually it always reads. And so we're sitting there, we're talking, whatever. And then I figured out what it was. And energy transfers too. He opens up and he tells me, like, we were just talking about general stuff. And then somehow it got to the point of like a conversation about just, I guess, life, happiness, whatever, something. And he tells me that he just lost a parent. I was like, oh shit. I was like, that's heavy. I was like, I've lost family, but thankfully haven't lost my, parents yet. And he tells me that. I was like, oh my gosh. So I'm sitting there, I'm trying to like be soothing and peaceful and empathetic. And I asked him, I was like, what are you doing to cope? Who do you have around you? Because now I'm a grief counselor. I didn't think tonight was going to lead to this. So he's talking. He's talking. I don't know if it's the nature's medicine. I don't know if it's the drink, but he's talking. And I've had it where people just come to me and they start telling me a lot of trauma. And it's a lot. I'm not equipped to handle it the way I thought I can always handle it. It's a lot. I end up feeling that energy for weeks. I really, really do. So he's telling me this stuff. I was like, what are you doing to cope? Is there anything making you feel okay right now? He's like, I'm not really happy. I haven't felt happy in a long time. Nothing makes me happy. Like, just heavy shit. So I'm sitting here thinking like, oh, we here to hook up. And I'm like, it was a lot. I ended up feeling extremely depressed for weeks after in Budapest. And it was a combination of how he was treating me and acting and behaving. And then it was like, okay, how much do you excuse because he's grieving? How much do you push accountability for because you're being an asshole and you're ghosting and being rude? Like, oh, so gross. Oh, this is so gross. I heard another guy say this, a pump and dump or a hit and quit or whatever. If you gonna hook up, just hook up. But I was just like, whoa, like this is a lot. So I was sitting there, it was heavy. The room, it got heavy, like, honey, it got heavy in there. I was like, oh my goodness. Like, you could tell he was hurting, like, eyes empty, glazed. I'm like, I'm just a random girl in the club you just met. And he tried to pull that card later, like, oh, I don't owe you shit. You're just a random girl in the club, but you're putting this on me. That's a lot. I'm wondering where your friends are at, your support circle, because now I got you on suicide watch, and I'm a stranger. So I was checking up on him after the fact, and he was trying to ghost, I guess, and there was a disconnect because you told me this heavy stuff because I thought you didn't have anybody. So I make the mistake of trying to be there for him because I assume you really need somebody if you're unveiling all this to a stranger, like randomly from the club, who just said she wanted to make out. And I thought we'd agreed on that. So I was like, you know what? He really needs somebody. Like, let me try my best to be there. The way he made me seem afterwards, like, oh, it's crazy how men paint you out to be insane. You are the crazy one, but they never discuss the behavior prior that caused you to act a certain way. And I've noticed a lot of people like to do weird shit. And I noticed some guys got smart with it. They don't directly say, oh, hey this or hey that. They play these mind games so that there's no like actual proof or enough proof or evidence to show that they are playing those games with you. Like, it's obvious, but it's also like, oh, well, it could have been. No, it's. And we gonna get into the mind games portion of this. All right, I had to take a wine break. We are back. What's up, y'all? So yeah, where did I leave off? He had told me this heavy news, which explains the energy in the room because I could not pinpoint it. Y'all, it was a roller coaster of emotions and energy in that small little Airbnb. You could feel it. I couldn't tell if we were getting along or clashing. It was like when you put two magnets together and they're kind of like, I don't think this works. So yeah, mind you, I was just paranoid 2 seconds ago because I thought, he was looking around a little like, I was looking around a little like, I was like, so he's telling me this heavy stuff. Remember, and I understand we can all be a little hypocritical sometimes, but remember, he just had this like, kind of nosy, because I was looking, at one point he was on his phone, I did look, and he had asked me some stuff like, maybe I was too lit, but people ask you something while you lit, and you're like, huh, like, what does that mean? He was like, what do you think you could work on about yourself? This and the third, like, he was telling me I talked a lot and whatever, but it kind of came afterwards. But I don't know, to tell somebody they're nosy and kind of have this like, or act like they're asking too many questions and then turn around and tell them something that heavy, it was confusing. So, and I was only doing it for safety. I saw this post online and it was very accurate. Somebody who was very tone deaf too, a guy posted, a woman's worst fear is being single or not getting married or something. Like, he posted that with confidence. And somebody had retweeted it and they're like, no, it's actually human, the bad one, the dark one that is scary. And then people below were like, and rape, murder and assault and being a like named off like actual dangerous things. And the women in the comments were like, yeah, we're not just worried about not getting married. Like there are other things, you know, aside from being single that are actually dangerous to women in this world. So that's why I was in his business. I was asking questions and his like, you know, you in my Airbnb, like you hear horror stories about that. So I was just making sure. But anyways, we sat down. I felt way more comfortable because I had this like, he was checking his phone. I was like, who you texting? Like, I was like, nobody can get in here. So that's good. But I was like, and also I was about to leave the Airbnb. So I only did it because I was like, I know I'm not going to be here for a while. So, but he tells me this heavy stuff. I'm like, oh my goodness, like I don't even know what to say. At one point I started crying, and I don't know if he thought that was insensitive, but I was crying because I was hurting for him. Like you could tell he was hurt. So a tear fell. I was thinking about, you know, I've had this pressure since high school. I'm like, gotta take care of my whole family, and one day people are gonna pass. Like I think we all think about that sometimes. It's really heavy stuff, and which is why I've been trying to excuse him for it. And I don't want this to be a negative story time. But yeah, so he told me that, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh my gosh. So we just listened to music, and I was just trying to comfort him a little bit, and we changed the topic kind of like somewhat abruptly, and we're just talking about other stuff. And he shared that like he makes music and plays soccer, and he'd like to do this and that. So we just kind of like changed directions. I think it's one of those things that just came out. Like I just had somebody the other day, I was vlogging about it, just tell me trauma out of nowhere. It was my first night hanging out with like the whole hostel group, and like he just turns to me and tells me all this trauma, and I was like, whoa, okay. And then I would just go back to like, yeah, but you know, you gotta make the best out of life. I was like, and then I still think about him. I hope he's good too. But yeah, so it was just really heavy. I was not emotionally equipped to handle it. I didn't really have this, I don't want to say I didn't have space for it, but it's like, I didn't know you. So I was just shocked. So at the time, I didn't realize how much of an effect it had on me. And I know that seems very selfish. Like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry that your parent passed. That's really hard for me to hear. Like that seems so fucked up, but it's just a lot. It is a lot. It's the reason why therapists exist and get paid the way they do. I'm not saying I need pay. I'm just saying there are people who are emotionally equipped, like hotlines, therapists, etc., where they have to brace for impact emotionally for those type of things. And it explains the energy. Like I am huge on energy, y'all, and I need to work on my own and do better as an individual, I will admit. But his energy was so distinct. It felt like out of this dimension. It felt like a little surreal. I don't want to say supernatural, but it felt very distinct. Like the energy in the room was just going crazy. And it wasn't like a, oh my gosh, this is intense and steamy. And it wasn't like, oh, I'm scared or, you know, it's dangerous. It was just kind of, it was intense. I'll never forget. Maybe it was, you know, nature's herbs or whatever. But I was sitting there, I was like, wow, like you got a lot coming off of you. And I thought about when people, I don't mean to like take away from the topic at hand, but like I think about when people talk about my energy, I'm like, oh, I appreciate that, but energy is real. Like that's the strongest I felt it on someone else, which was weird for me. Like I meet people and it's, oh yeah, I met a person, okay, their energy was good, okay, nice vibe, like, you know, that was a very strong energy, but you could tell it was mixed with hurt and pain, and that's where it was coming from. I was sitting here, I was like, whoa, like this is a lot. So anyways, change the topic or whatever, and you know, I kind of sat next to him. I think I was like holding his hand or something like that. I wasn't really sure what to do. We sat for a bit, we talked about everything and nothing. We started laughing. It would, you know, would have been really sweet. I overreacted, I admit that. I feel so bad, y'all. I feel really bad. I acted really like I just came out of like a very intense toxic relationship with my ex. So I don't know how to love right now. I don't know how to act. And he's grieving. So obviously that was not a good little match, even just for a hookup. But we had a point where, you know, you just start laughing out of nowhere. Like, we didn't even know we were laughing about, we were cracking up, etc. So, you know, it got lighthearted, it got fun or whatever. I was like, okay, like, this is cool. So what happened? We get to the point where, like, you know, all that past, the heaviness, the whoa, like, it was like a wave. Anytime you're on, like, anything, we weren't on, okay, nature's herbs. Anytime you do the natural stuff, you be going through a roller coaster. Sometimes, some people, you be crying, next thing you know, you laughing, now you dancing or whatever. So yeah, we was having that. And at one point I was next to him and I was flirting with him, but we had this, like, we both weren't coming on to each other. I don't know if it was pride or what, but we would not come on to the other person. I looked at him like, because it was good. I'm not insensitive. You're not going to tell me somebody you love passed away and then I'm like, okay, cool, let's make out. Like, that's weird as fuck. But no, like, some time had passed. We talked, we chilled, we laughed, and then it was like that. So I was sitting next to him like, he was looking at me like, I was looking at him like, so It got to the point, and this was a good part of the night, I will say that. Like, he asked me, he's like, oh, I didn't give you a good time. Because I ended up telling him, I was like, it wasn't all that. Please set your ego aside. He's like, you didn't give me a good time. Honestly, that was a nice vibe. It felt healthy, and like you meet somebody and the energy's good or whatever. Or at least it's just genuine, even if it's not good energy, such as, you know. So anyways, I was like, well, I'm about to go to bed soon. Like, I'm getting tired. Like, at one point, I feel bad. I think he started talking and I was yawning. Nothing serious he was talking about, but like, I was just tired. And so I had yawned, and he's like, you're not going to sleep on me, are you? I was like, kind of, to be honest. Like, no offense, not that you're boring. I'm just, you know, he wasn't asking about me. So I could tell, obviously, he wasn't interested. Like, this was not going to go anywhere permanently. Like, you're not about to become my man or my husband. I already know. So, you know, I kind of just had this, like, I was at the point where I was like, listen, I'm very consensual. If we're not hooking up, I'm okay with that. I didn't come in here with like, oh, we need to hook up, especially after what you just told me. If we are, cool. But you know, it's up to you. So I let him know. I was like, hey, there's a shower there. If you want a shower, there's a bed here. I'm about to go to sleep. I'm about to lay down. I'm tired. So you're more than welcome to lay down with me if you want. He's like, okay. So we get into the bed, and we're still lit. So we're like two big little kids in the bed. And I was like, all right, well, so we're not touching each other. Like, I don't know why it was just unspoken that we were not going to touch each other. I don't know. Maybe it was pride. I felt like I was playing his game. When I had brought him up, we were in the elevator, and I was like, you're not crazy, are you? And he's like, I don't know, like I forgot. We was joking like that. And I was like, he said something like, I forgot what he said, but then I was like, well, what type of crazy are you? Because I was like, it depends. Like, it really depends. Because you see, I got paranoid at one point. And we were joking about that. But yeah, so he was like kind of self-aware and admitted things. He's like, no, like, I'm just fucked up, man. Like, I play games. He basically did everything he said he was going to do. Like, I cannot say he did not warn me. He's like, I play games and this and that third. Like, I don't know what's wrong with me. And I was like, yeah, that's cool. Like, if you trying to fuck, I'm here. That's it. We don't got to take it further. But because he told me that heavy news, I felt sympathetic towards him. And then I also had this like, well, damn, like, you told me that. Like, I wasn't trying to overinflate my importance, but I had this like, if you're telling a stranger that, do you need help? Do you need social contact? Like, are you good? Like, do you need somebody cooking for you and hugging you right now? Like, so that's why I was keeping that strong ass energy after. Because remember, I left the club talking about some, let's just make out and call it, you know, call it a quits. I ain't trying to move to Budapest and have a Hungarian family. Like, no offense. That's not what my intention was. So we're in bed. And I had this like, I tease and I'm very consensual. I'm always going to ask. So I was like, what would happen if I kissed you right now? He's like, I don't know. We got to find out. I was like, okay, cool. So then I was like, well, I'm going to sleep. So I turned around. I think he realized like, oh, wait, no pussy. I had this like, I don't need you. I want you. I like you, but I don't need you. So it's up to you. Like, if you're not going to make the first move and show me you about it and you want me, I was like, you got my permission. You got my consent. So do what you do. Type shit. So I was like, damn, for a second, I really had to say, oh, he don't want me. Like, he really does not want me. I was like, damn, maybe he just wants to be friends. Maybe he really only came over to talk and I'm misreading the signals because the signals are confusing as fuck. So I'm sitting there, y'all. I'm sitting there very much humbled because I'm like, he don't want me. And that's okay. He came over. He told me his heavy stuff. You know, he didn't really ask me any questions about myself. He don't know shit about me for real, for real. I know this man's height, first name, last name, all of it. He don't know shit about me. And I'm like, okay. He shared his grief and what he's going through. And I'm like, you know what? Like, I'm okay for being there for some people sometimes. But I'm confused. So I was like, I'm going to bed because if you don't want me, I'm all about consent. So I'm not going to come on to you. Like, I asked what would happen if I kissed you. You said, I don't know, we have to find out. Well, if that's not a yes, or like, hey, well, you know, do it and we'll find out. That's a better way to phrase it. I'm not going to do it. So I turned around to go to bed. And he was like, oh, well, like, I'm really tall. He was so cheesy. He was like, I'm really tall. So I might like move around a lot in my sleep. I was like, okay. And then I was laying there like, whatever. And so suddenly I feel him like get on top of me. I was like, okay, there we go. Like, don't be shy. Come on. It was so strange. It's so strange being with somebody new after you've been with somebody for years. That is a new sensation for sure. So I had to, I'm all tingly thinking about it, but it wasn't like, honestly, it was mid, but like, you know, it was the foreplay and it was the teasing and it was all this sexual tension leading up to that moment that was so sexy to me. So like, he gets on top of me and I was like, oh, so I'm not insane. You do want me. Cause he told me straight up, I was like, I told him, I was like, I find you very attractive. He's like, that's great. I think the same, this and the third. Like, he literally said, I'm attracted to you. So he's on me. I'm like, okay. It's kind of a blur because we are very lit. Like, we were lit completely consensual, but we were both extremely lit, y'all. Like, it was cool. Like, he said MMA and boxing, so I thought I'd be like a little stronger. You know, you hear like you hear like that rough. So I thought it'd be a little stronger. But it switched up immediately. You know how they say like some guys get their nut and they immediately turn into a whole different person? This was heartbreaking. After you just made me your grief counselor, after we just laughed, after I welcomed you into my little temporary home, offered you drinks, offered you food and snacks or whatever, gave you a listening ear, didn't get offended that you didn't even ask shit about me, you don't even care about me, whatever. Like, after all that, I'm playing music, trying to create a vibe, this and the third, like, after all of that and like setting the scene, so we fucked, yes. And what happened? We was on the bed. It was an elevated bed. If you saw my Budapest vlog or whatever, you'll see what the Airbnb looks like. It was an elevated like bed, and I felt like the whole, maybe I was too lit and I had my super hearing going on, but I felt like the whole room was shaking. I was like, hey, can we move to the floor? Like, I was like, I'll put a blanket on the floor. Can we move to the floor? Because I feel like it's just loud and we're on the like top floor. I don't want anybody. I mean, I guess the floor is worse because the people below us, but the bed was just like, and it wasn't even hitting like that. Hungarian man wasn't even hitting like that. So I was like, yeah, can we just like, move to the floor or whatever? He's like, yeah, sure. So we moved to the floor and like he comes. It wasn't bad for me. It wasn't like fantastic, but it wasn't like, oh my God, I gotta go brag to my friends about it. He comes and then he's about to open another condom and I'm like, I don't know, that was kind of mid. I'm still sleepy. Remember I yawned earlier? I'm still sleepy. I was like, oh, that's not what I expected. Okay, so he is about to open another condom. And this is what he says out his mouth, y'all, with confidence. Oh my fuck. This is where he really pissed me off. And I kept my face flat and I had to like, you could leave, my boy. Oh my goodness. I was like, yeah, I'm probably about to just go to bed, honestly. Or some, I said something. And he was like, yeah, well, we could after this and then I'm gonna just go. And I know you're not entitled to somebody spending the night and staying and cuddling or possibly cuddling or whatever. But he's like, yeah, I got like work stuff to do. Like, I'm gonna just go out. He basically said, I'm gonna fuck you and I'm leaving. Like, I said, that's what it broke down to. Like, that's what he literally said. He was like, or after this, I could fuck you and leave. I got up. I was like on my knees. I was like, yeah, I'm going to bed. If you want to fuck me, you can fuck me in the morning. So I could let you out because remember the key, you have to be let out with the key. So I was like, I could let you out if you want. And that was that. So I went to go crawl in the bed. I was like, I turned because I'm not holding you hostage. I was like, let me know if you want me to let you out. And that's that. So he stood there in the living room, dick out or whatever, and had this like, ooh. And I guess he was wondering, do I want pussy or do I want to leave now? Because she's basically telling me no. Yes, I'm telling you no. You just told me you were going to fucking leave in the most like impolite ass way after I just listened to your grief, listened to what you had going on. Your energy's on me now. You talking about something you're not happy in this and the third. Now you just fuck me, so the chemicals in my brain are like, oh my gosh, save this poor grieving boy or whatever, or be a light for him right now while you can and while you're in the city, this and the third. Like, my brain's already fucking up. And it's not that I wanted him, bro. I wasn't thinking about dating him. I wasn't thinking about dating for marriage. None of it. I was the one who said, hey, let's hook up, call today. You're the one coming into my space, making it seem like I'm a friend by telling me all this heavy personal stuff. Okay, and then wanting to do a hit and quit after you trauma dumped on me. That's essentially what it is. And he got mad later. He's like, I was talking to you. Okay, am I a friend or not? Pick one. You're confusing yourself. Because he was like, I'm not trying to be your boyfriend. I was just talking to you, this and the third. You're a random girl in the club. Pick one. Am I a random girl in the club and you fucking duck and that's it? Or am I somebody you want to be a friend? You don't get both. You don't get to pick the random girl in the club, come to her Airbnb, trauma dump on her, fucking dip, and want to act like a dick afterwards. Like, no. I know you have your social circle, your people, all of that good stuff going on for you. Don't pick me to put your energy on, because I felt it already in the room. I was like, what is this energy? Like, it was a lot. So anyways, I lay down and he ended up coming to lay down in bed. I was like, all right, that's your choice. Like, you could leave. You could literally leave. I basically did a role reversal. You're telling me you're gonna pump and dump. I'm telling you, okay, well, if you want to do that, you can do that in the morning. Delayed satisfaction, because maybe you'll do a better job the second time. You was lit. Maybe it'll hit better in the morning, because I'm honestly not impressed. And I told him that. I was like, I was not impressed. So I was ready to go to bed. I'm not going to let you do that unimpressive shit twice and then talk about something. I'm going to leave. Like, and I know we got used to each other and we really put it in. He probably could have put it down, but like, it just was not hitting. So I was like, all right, like, you could go. So he comes to lay in bed and I'm looking like, like bratty as fuck. Like, bro, like you ain't shit. Like, and he said it, I'm crazy, I'm this, I'm that. So it's like, can you even be mad? Yes. So we ended up cuddling or whatever. And at one point I woke up and I catch him like watching me sleeping or whatever. And I'm like, is this a sex work act? So you get me addicted to you, or are you actually having like a little moment or whatever? And he tells me that he's coming to New York. Why would you tell me that information? Like, the games were being played and he stated they were going to be played. But then like when I was actually a participant in them and I didn't even realize I signed up for motherfucking Squid Games, I was like, oh, these are the games you were talking about. So he's like, I'm coming to New York because he knows I'm from the US. So I was like, okay, that's cool. Like, I was playing it chill. No, I wasn't even playing. I was like, deadass. I was like, I hope you have a good time, etc. Blah, blah, blah. And then when he was in New York, he started acting weird because this story goes on. I got some more to tell y'all. But anyway, so morning hits. I guess he was like waiting for me to wake up to, I don't know, like just watching me sleep. And at one point I like looked at his phone or whatever, and I was like about to go back to bed, and this and the third. And I guess he just was already painting me out to be crazy. I'm like, you're painting me out to be crazy, but you're rude. Like, I don't know who comes onto a stranger like that and just like puts all this on them and then is surprised that they are offended afterwards. So we begin in the morning and I was walking him down or whatever, and I tried to kiss him in the elevator, and he had this like he wasn't gonna kiss me. I was like, oh, you're that rude. I was like, you're extremely rude. I was like, you're honestly just cruel rude, like type shit. So he had this like and then like before the elevator went out or whatever, then he came in and he gave me a kiss, and I was like, I don't like those games at all. It's weird. I don't like, I don't even want you like that. Like, it's the games men play to get you attached because they know certain people, individuals like myself, have this like, oh, I need to prove myself. And I'm letting go of that romantically, whatever trauma or emotional neglect that stems from of like, oh, I need to prove myself. Oh, you're refusing me, you're rejecting me. Okay, I need to prove myself. You're the only person I gave a chance in the club. You're the only person I gave a chance in months. You're the first person I've hooked up with since I left a long-term relationship. I had this like, you're not gonna fuck me over like that, and then you're not even fucking me well. Oh, I'm offended. And he was a white boy too, so it's like there's already different levels to that. I was like, oh, I let you hit and you're not even going like, and remember, I'm in like dominatrix work. I got people begging for my attention and like calling me queen. So, you know, and as a sex worker, it's just like, I'm not gonna let another sex worker in. And it's crazy, right? Because when we were walking up, he was like, oh, men, this, that, and the third. Because he was talking about, like, I thought he was relatable. He was talking about the he sees from other men, like abuse and stuff like that, and like, or verbal stuff, or the crazy, like, filth that is said that's like not sexy or whatever. Anyways, a lot of stuff that sex workers have experienced, he's seen because he's the moderator for camp. So he has to filter out those bad comments, the vile comments. He's like, yeah, it's crazy. Like, these guys out here are crazy. How you gonna hear me complain or vent about sex work, some of the men in it, and the abuse you experience, and the men I've recently been experienced who are just literally just trying to get me drunk, high, and then go be that exact same thing? Baby, if that's part of the playbook, please throw the playbook away, because that's vicious. So, of course, right after, he is so busy, honey. He's so busy. I told him, I was like, yeah, I was asleep all day. Mother Earth's, Mother Nature's herbs were hitting. Like, wow, I just slept all day. That's lit. Or whatever, etc. Whatever you brought over was really good. You knew, like, Budapest. Like, let me not say too much so Hungary's not like, what you doing hungry? Nothing hungry. Love you. But anyways, so yeah, I just texted him that. And then at one point I asked if he wanted to hang out, and he was like, oh, I'm busy. That's when the I'm busy messages started. I was like, okay, so he's on my story, y'all. I struggle with people watching me but not connecting with me. YouTube, fine. Instagram people, I don't know, fine. But if I had a personal connection with you in person and you could sit there and watch my story, but like we're in the same city or we're able to share a moment together, and I'm reaching out to you and you're dissing me, and we have the ability to connect, I'm gonna take offense. So he's like the first one on my story. He's telling me he is so busy, but he's literally, I have screenshots. I have receipts for this entire story time. I don't feel like, I'm not digging in the cloud, y'all, but they're there. If y'all need them, they're there. So he's the first one on my story. He's constantly watching me. I post a lot. People enjoy watching my content. I appreciate that. I post dance videos, good vibe videos, whatever it is. Like, so people enjoy. He's telling me he's oh so busy. He cannot hang out. Oh, so busy, so busy, so busy. I was like, oh, you trying to treat me like a client? That's what it is. You work with other women, I'm assuming. Like, he's a cam girl mod, yes, but he might do other stuff too. You are trying to get me hooked. I was like, I'm not paying for your company. Respectfully, I respect sex workers. I am one. I respect paying for their time. We did not meet on sex worker terms. You approached me in the club on a personal, intimate level. Oh, okay. I did not approach you like, oh yeah, I want your services. I want you to talk to me this time and the third. That was not established. So I'm over here. I was like, oh, and that's another thing. So after we fucked, he asked me, like, and that's another thing. You gotta humble men sometimes. Even if it was good, just don't say it was good. But really, it wasn't that impressive. He was like, how was it? I was like, And then he left in the morning. So I guess maybe the like kiss was to try to be like, to try to little get back, because I guess his pride was hurt or whatever. But I didn't say anything. I was like, because that's the truth. Like, I wasn't gonna sit there and be like, no, I didn't like it or whatever. Like, I was like, whatever. So I had asked him at one point, I was like, do you want to get brunch, this and the third? I was just trying to check on him because you just told me your parent passed away. And I don't know who's checking on you. Like, if you're telling a stranger in the club that you are this miserable in life, like, he's like, I'm not happy. Nothing makes me happy. I'm going to check on you. We just fucked. Like, I have a heart. So I was reaching out to him, and I should have dialed it back, yes. But, like, it got to the point where I know he was leaving me on scene. Either he would literally leave me on scene, or he would... like, because that's what happened at the club. I should have known. I told him he was attractive. And before I left, when I was like, we should be making out right now, he goes, no. I was like, I figured I'd tell you in person. He goes, oh, yeah, you wanted to tell me I'm attractive, right? Because showing me that he saw that, you know, when it shows on your phone screen, you read it. He was doing that. I was like, oh, so you're rude. Like, you're a really rude boy. So I got to the point where he would either physically leave me on scene, or he would like post on his story and then watch my story, but then not reply to my messages. I was like, okay, message received. My dumb ass, I don't know what I had to prove. It was a combination of like genuinely caring, and I was concerned for him after what he told me, because I was like, damn, like, are you on suicide watch? Like, I really got worried. At one point, I didn't realize he was ghosting. I thought he had... like, I really thought this man was like, you know, like, had nothing left to live for. So I'm over here, he's not answering. I'm like, oh my God, like, damn, you done slept with a suicidal man. Like, oh my goodness, he over here fine. Went and posted on his story. He had a bathhouse or something. So I let him know straight up. I was like, yeah, you're rude as fuck. Like, I went off on him. I was like, listen, I'm sorry for what you're going through, but that is not... I mean, to an extent, yes, but I was like, it doesn't fully excuse that. I think your personality was like this prior to what happened, and I'm sorry, this and third, but like, you are rude as fuck. Like, don't come to a stranger like that. We were better off staying strangers. Don't approach me. So he was like, listen, I was straight up with you. I'm not on... he sent voice messages and everything. He's like, I'm not on bullshit. Like, I'm not playing with you. I'm not... he sounds so urban too. He's like, so maybe he was one of those guys who like black culture. I don't know. But anyways, he was like, I'm not playing with you. Like, I straight up told you what's going on, this, that, and the third, blah, blah, blah. And then I felt bad because I was like, I don't know if he's gaslighting or I'm gaslighting myself. But I was like, damn, no, you're right. Like, his parent just passed away. Leave him alone. The fuck? So I was like, okay, you know what? Go about your business. Leave him alone. He's fine or whatever. And then he was still on my story, still watching my shit, but couldn't reply. So then I ended up going off again. This is where this is my fault. This is my fault. I just don't like people fucking with me, because he was the first. Like, I would post a story and like, no joke, 15, 30 seconds later, he was the first one on my shit. And it gets weirder. So wait for it. I did not react appropriately. And I apologize for that. I apologize for him. I felt really bad. I felt like the universe tried to teach me a little karmic lesson. I'll get into that too. Okay, so I definitely shut the fuck up after that. But my mouth was going crazy because I had just dealt with my ex, who I had an issue with his mouth, and my mouth got worse as a result, and we kept going back and forth. And then I just had this, like, I'm not gonna let you play me. Like, you're the first person I gave myself to after months, after not being with somebody, or yeah, about being away from my ex, whatever. I was like, you're the first like hookup I had. And then he tried to make it seem like, oh, you don't know what a hookup is. Like, you're a random girl in the club. I'm like, the way you treated me was not random girl in the club. Like, you should have fucking ducked the moment you entered my Airbnb and left. Do not put this trauma on me. Like, I was depressed for like a week. I kid you not, because he just sat there empty. Like, the energy was crazy. Like, oh, nothing makes me happy. Darkness, death, doom. I was like, oh my gosh, like, what? This is a lot. I don't know if it slipped because he was too lit, but it was a lot. So he's watching my shit. I go off on him again, and I was in this super cute Airbnb. I changed Airbnbs And I was in a super cute one. I was like, yo, like, at least come back and fuck me right. Because come on now. Like, you don't got to hang out with me. You don't got to be my friend or pretend to be my friend. I was like, let's just not talk about anything. Sorry for going off on you, but, like, just come over and fuck me right. And he had this, like, oh, this and the third, like, blah, blah, blah. If I didn't, because I told him, I was like, you didn't even fuck me. He was like, he's like, I didn't give you a good time, this and the third. So he ended up not coming over. I was like, damn, like that really ended up actually hurting my feelings. Cause I was just like, the way you act is crazy, but you're watching me so heavy on social media and it's uncomfortable. So at one point I think I had unfollowed him and whatever. It gets weirder, just wait. So I admit I did blow his phone at one point. It was OD, but I knew he was ignoring my messages, and I'm sorry, I should not have done it, because like I feel like he was trying to build a case of like crazy against me. But he told me he was crazy too, so I was like, okay, let's see who's crazy outmatches who's crazy, which is also not a healthy response. Please do not do this, and this can also be considered harassment. So you know. So anyways, what happened? At one point we. No, because he was playing into it at one point. He was like, what's wrong, mommy? Mommy, da, 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 da. Anyways, I'll get into it. Oh, I forgot to tell y'all. He left his nasty ass condoms on the floor like the garbage he was acting like. Yeah, I forgot to tell y'all. He done left his, where the fuck are your manners, bro? We fucked. And in the morning, I had to pick up his filled condoms off the floor. So I'm already like, I didn't even care how I was acting. So I was like, you're just trifling. Like, you're nasty. You're trifling. You're rushing to get up out of here. You can't even pick up your own biohazardous material off the motherfucking ground after you just fucked me. Oh, like, oh my gosh. No, that was really, really gross. And then later he tried to be like, you know, I think you're crazy, my dear. So I was trying to stay away from you. I just had a hunch. But it's crazy because when you first met me, you was talking about I just felt drawn to your energy, like something called me over to it, blah, blah, fucking blah. If you thought I was so crazy, you should have picked your goddamn condoms off the floor, because if I was so crazy, my crazy ass might have impregnated myself with them. Like, come on now. Like, you don't think I'm crazy. You're trying to make me out to be crazy, or you're trying to behave in a way that makes me act crazy, so you could then call me crazy for your own ego. Taking a romantic break right now, y'all, because between my ex and the first hookup I had since my ex, y'all ain't it. Standards are sky high, honey. Sky high, okay? Twitter can complain about them all day. Oh, women need to lower their standards. This is what happens when you lower your standards. You get somebody's nasty ass used condoms on your floor and they like to pump it down, okay? You can't win as a woman. If you're not fucking, you're a prude. If you're fucking, you're a whore. Like, you can't win. So just do whatever feels good and what you enjoy. And I chose him because I was like, you know what? I think this will feel good. And then it ended up just like, I told him, I was like, I wish you never approached me in that club. Like, this shit was a weird ass experience and it made me uncomfortable. But it gets weirder. So he comes to New York and I was like, oh, yo, like, you in the States? Like, cool. That's what's up. I'm like, hey, I think it was around, I don't know, 4th of July or whatever. I was like, if you happen to be here, feel free to hit me up, this, that, and the third. So he's posting, and he's ignoring my messages. I was like, okay. So he had posted, no, what I asked him? I had asked if he wanted to go on a cruise, because I had some friends going on a cruise. I was like, you know what? I felt really, really bad about how I spoke to him. He's like, yo, you spoke really personal. Like, you didn't have to come for me like that. But then I kept trying to, like, I'll focus on my behavior. And yeah, I should not have acted like that. It was fucked up. But it's like, you fucking and trauma dumping and leaving your nasty ass condoms on my floor. You're not acting respectful either. You're just doing it in person. My disrespect's online, so unfortunately I'm not leaving the best digital footprint. You doing it in person and you're being a shitty person in person, okay? So I asked him if he wants to go on this cruise, and he actually replied and said, yeah. I was like, okay, cool. Because I'm sitting here thinking, like, listen, this was unnecessary. Emotions were high. Substances were involved, okay? Obviously, I'm emotionally reacting. You're being nonchalant. You're purposely trying to be a fuckboy. I want to show you that, like, I'm not the person you think I am, and I didn't mean to come for you, but, like, you just really hurt my feelings. So I'm like, if we could have an in-person interaction that we both are down to enjoy, you know, maybe I could actually have a good friend there, because I don't want to meet people. For me, it wasn't like, I need to be in your presence. I need to see you again. No, it was more so like, I don't want to leave a bad mark on people I meet. And I'll tell you about the karmic experience in a bit, as to why I think, you know, our behavior is watched to an extent. We got to watch our character and energy, and you should want to do that anyways. So I had this, like, if we get in person and things are good, I was like, just as friends, I was like, listen, I don't want you to be my man. I don't want you to be this. I'm sorry for how I acted. Like, you down to go on a cruise? He says yes. I was like, okay, cool. He goes, or no, he didn't say yes. I'm sorry. He said, that sounds like a good option. Let me know some information. I was like, okay, cool. So I give him the information or whatever. And then he disappears. So I was like, okay. So this was the dumbest thing I could have did, because trying to plan a vacation with somebody who's like partially ghosting, come on now. So I'm messaging him like, hey, you know, my friends and I, like, unfortunately my friends weren't serious either. The cruise was supposed to happen, but it didn't. I was like, my friends and I are trying to plan. Let me know what your budget is. Let me know this. Let me know that. He's ghosting. I'm like, okay. So I don't know why you would say, let me know. It's the breadcrumb shit that be making bitches crazy. So I was like, I don't know why you would tell me, you know, I didn't say this, but I'm like, why would you tell me to give you more information if you're just going to ghost anyways? Just continue ghosting. And then I take the hint and I'm like, all right, he really ain't fucking with me. Let me go. So I was at the point, I was like, hey, like, we really about to close out the cruise. What's good? Cruise fell through. I'm trying to do something for my birthday, mind you. I ended up in Puerto Rico, but I was like, hey, you know what? The cruise didn't work out. Do you want to possibly go to Mexico with me instead? Because I was like, you know, I'm trying to, you know, see something new. And then I had this like, well, if I go with a man, because I've never been. Some places I just want to go with like somebody else just to have that, you know, extra protection. So I asked him, because remember he said, hey, give me more information. He's like, that sounds cool, awesome, right? So I'm not crazy. And I was like, oh, Danny, back up. Leave this man alone. He's like, give me more information about the cruise. He's not replying about the cruise. And then my friends weren't serious, unfortunately. So then I was like, okay, Mexico, are you down? Y'all, I can't make this up. He posts on his story. You ready? He didn't open my message. He didn't leave me on scene. He posts on his story while he's traveling in New York. No, he's at the gym. It says no vacations with a Mexican flag. Are you talking to me? Is that how you're talking to me? I was like, you want me to be livid? Because what the fuck is that? I was like, so you bypassed my messages. Said, oh, no, I'm sorry. You read my messages. You said, interesting. Did not reply. Did not simply say no. Went to your story. No vacations, Mexican flag. After you sent me a voice message talking about yeah, that sounds great. Like, give me some more information about the cruise, which is also a vacation. So it wasn't the fact that I said, hey, it's changing to Mexico. Let me know if you're interested. You just said no vacations. So why are you fucking with me, bro? I was like, you want me to like go insane? I think you're testing to see how far I'll go. I was like, and he got me. I'll admit, he got me to react. But I've never had anybody act like this. So I was just so blown away. So I should have stayed calm and just played it cool. But I texted him. I was like, no, like, you're actually fucking insane. Like, you're a weirdo. This and the third. Like, I don't know what's wrong with you. Like, I went off. And then he had ignored it. And then I was still going off. Like, I was like, you want to look at your phone? I was still going off. I look insane. This man does a story time and pulls up receipts. I'm claiming it. I'm taking accountability. I look insane. So I'm going off on him. So he says back one word or something like that. He was like, mommy, question mark? Like, what's wrong? Like, are you okay? This is the crazy you were talking about when you was laid up with me. This is what that looks like. This is different. Now I'm trying to be mindful of the fact that he is grieving. And my cousin told me, like, she has somebody that was grieving, and she goes, yeah, he's never been the same since. He started acting really weird. So I'm trying to be mindful of that. I've lost family as well too, not nuclear family, so I don't know how that feels, but I'm trying to be mindful. But I was like, bro, that's crazy. So I'm sitting there, I was like, okay. So we get to arguing. Like, so you know what pissed him off? It wasn't the fact that I said, hey, you hurt my feelings and I'd really appreciate it if you took accountability. It's when I told him the sex was shit and his dick was little. And I'm sorry, because that's how you know my feelings were hurt. I don't body shame people, but I did. And it was a very low blow. But I was that's where I was at. Because who does that? Why are you posting on a story as a direct reply to somebody instead of directly replying to them and letting them know you are intentionally ignoring them and ghosting them after you said you're interested in something they mentioned and making them seem insane? So I was like, what the I can't make this up, y'all. So after I told him his dick was little and the sex was shit, he was like, whoa. Why do I have your attention after I tell you you fuck bad? But I don't have your attention when I say, hey, I'm a human being. Please don't treat me like shit. Please don't fucking treat me like shit. That's all I'm asking. Like, this and that. I'm sorry for going off on you, but like, you hurt me in person. I hurt you with what I said, and it wasn't something like, oh my God, F you, go off yourself. Nothing crazy. Like, I was just upset, and I let you know, like, hey, you're being a shit person straight up. Like, I'm speaking up for myself in my years now. So anyways, it was me telling him that the sex was shit that got him to reply. So we start arguing back and forth. It's heated. We're going back and forth. I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of fun. But we're going back and forth for a minute. And I basically let him know. He's like, I don't know what you want from me. You're a random girl in the club. We started calling each other names. I started calling him bitch bunny or bitch snow bunny or something. I'm sorry. That was so fucked up. I was out of character. If you watch my story time about my ex, I became a person who was out of my character after dealing with my ex. So this is the version of me that I'm trying to heal from, because I don't like that side of her. I don't like that side of myself that I recently discovered, but she's also very hilarious sometimes. So we're going back and forth or whatever. And we got into it and like we started arguing about this sex and this. I was like, you fuck bad, blah, blah, blah. He's like, he got so offended. That's the crazy part. Like, you really hurt my feelings. You didn't give a single fuck. But when I told you, you can't fuck well, all of a sudden you ready to argue. So like he was there. He's like, I'm giving you my time and my focus right now. Like he was overinflating his importance and ego and who he was. He was like, I'm giving you all my time right now. Is that not good enough? And here you are telling me I don't fuck well, this and that. I'm like, whoa, I gave you my time too. You're not special. We both, or either we're both special or either we're both not special. But don't do that. Like, so he was going back and forth arguing, and then he did apologize. I will admit he did apologize. So I appreciate that. But he's like, I'm sorry if I offended you. Because he had this like, I told you what it was. And I was like, I told you what it was. When we left the club, I just wanted to make out and see where that led. You made me a grief counselor. You took advantage of like my kindness, my time, my emotions, all of it. You're playing games that are weird. And I know you said you do this, but like now that I'm experiencing it, I'm like, ew, what the fuck? Like the posting on the story but not replying, or making it so that person sees it and knows you're talking to them but not talking to them is weird and it's hurtful. Like kids do that. What? So we got into it. He did apologize or whatever, and we were just going back and forth being really vicious. We both called each other names, but first he was trying to play the good guy card, like, oh my gosh, like I hope you heal. I don't know what you got going on. I knew you were crazy from the beginning. First it was, oh, your energy, this, blah, blah. Then it was, I knew you were always crazy, blah, blah, blah. I was like, this is professional gaslighting and emotional manipulation. Like, what the fuck? So we got into it. He did apologize, which I appreciate, but I had this like, you're just like rude. Like, don't tell me you come to New York. Like, that's supposed to mean something to me. Don't act like, I don't know. Like, and I wasn't trying to misinterpret what he said, but it was really the grief part that had me like, oh my gosh, like, let me make sure he's okay. And he turned me making sure he was okay and not like literally, because I thought he was on my watch, into like, oh my gosh, she's so obsessed with me. This random American girl's so obsessed with me. I was like, thank you for making me never hook up with anybody ever again, because that's crazy. But it gets weirder, right? So he was watching my stories. I told him to block me. I was like, block me, I don't like you. He goes, no, dear, I'm controlling the narrative. You're not gonna control it. I will not block you. I'm not petty. I was like, block me, bro. I was like, block me, like, you're pissing me off. Block me. Block me so you don't have to hear this mouth. And I know that's backwards. I should have just blocked him, but I wanted him to hear my mouth, so I did. So anyways, I was like, block. He's like, no, I won't block you, this and the third, blah, blah, blah. So no, you know what he did? He didn't block me. He hid his story from me because I went to go check on another page. I know, I sound insane. I went to go check on another page because he's playing these weird social media games, talking about some I'm not online, but watching my story every 2 seconds, not replying to me, but literally answering me in his story post. Like, what? So I checked my other page, and I was like, oh, okay, so he hid his stories from me so I don't see it. I was like, nobody want to watch those stank-ass stories. So I was like, all right, you know what? I'm just not going to, like, let me not check his... You're the one on my story 2 seconds after I posted. But you can't text me back. I was like, no, like, you're being really, really rude. Like, and you're being loud about being rude. You want me to know you're being rude. So it got weird after that. Like, so I had dropped all my followers down to 222 people, angel numbers. I go look at his page randomly after weeks. He dropped his shortly after I did it to 222 followers, just like I did. So then I had my own little personal breakdown. If you watch my regular vlogs, you know I went home from traveling after Europe and everything. I did my own thing. Oh my gosh, I forgot. No. It gets worse. Okay, so anyways, I went home, had a whole breakdown. I felt alone, and I dropped my followers to 0. And then he recently dropped his followers to 0 too. I was like, okay, that's really, really weird. Like, changing your follower count. Those are people you know. Those are people you intimately know. So I really think it's a grieving thing, because like, you must be going through it if you're willing to just cut down people like that to 0, or maybe you have another page. That's what it was. As soon as I left Budapest, y'all, I'm just remembering. He asked me, as soon as I left, I was asking to hang out. I was like, hey, can I take you to brunch? Like, I just want to make sure you're okay. I'm sorry for what I said, this and the third. I didn't mean to come off too, like, you know, too intense. He ignored me, or I had this, like, no, I'm busy. As soon as I left Budapest, I went to Prague. I'm in Prague, right? He's watching my stories. He goes, you think you'll ever come back to Budapest anytime soon? What? I was there for over a month. I know. So when I was asking you to hang out, when I was asking you to hang out when I was in your country, you were acting very weird, making me seem insane, and actually hurting my feelings. You were hurting my feelings. I'll admit that. He was hurting me. And then as soon as I left, because he was like my new little favorite thing, I didn't want him, but I was just like fascinated. I was like, you're a distinct individual. You're the first person who caught my eye in a minute because there's something going on about you. It's this dark, fascinating energy. It's kind of like if you read YA books, it's like the main character's love interest or the one they're not supposed to be with, like that type of vibe. So it was like, he waits till I leave the country. I'm out the country and immediately texts me, do you think you'll be back in Budapest anytime soon? Interesting. Breadcrumbs. Ultimate gaslighting and manipulation, y'all. I was shocked. It's the fuckery for me, because imagine doing all this and acting like this and then calling somebody crazy. And on his end, it looks normal. It's, oh yeah, I just asked her if she'll be back in Budapest. Oh, I just posted a random story about no vacations, Mexican flag. Oh, I just changed my follower count to the same one as hers and then again dropped it down to 0, same as hers. Yeah. No. Just, casual stuff. Me, I'm over here. I'm like, I went off because I was just like, bro, like you're being, and I shouldn't have because he's grieving. So I do feel really bad about that and I apologize. I had a karmic experience where one of my parents was involved in an accident with my car, currently going through with my car. I lost it, unfortunately. And I realized I could have lost one of my parents. So I was like, oh my gosh, like I feel bad. I should not have, I didn't say anything evil or anything. I was just intense. I was like, stop being a shit person. Like, and I think that made him feel bad and it's not fair because he's already grieving. But I was like, basically don't treat people like that. I was like, I'm going through my own shit. I'm going through my own depression and getting out of a really bad relationship and whatever. So I was like, you're not the only one. I'm so sorry for what you're going through, but please understand we have an effect on each other. We affect other people as humans. So anyways, I don't know if what I said was too far. One of my parents, thankfully they're okay. They were in an accident and it made me realize, I was like, oh, leave this man alone. Leave this man alone. You made your point. You got your point across. You apologized. Yeah, so even after apology and all of that, like he changed his follower count. Maybe it was a coincidence, but I changed mine to 222. He changed his to 222, and then I dropped mine down to 0. I had a breakdown. Wasn't feeling good. Felt alone. Only added my friends on my spam page, and then he changed his to 0. So I just made mine like my work social media page, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it was a weird encounter. I do feel really bad. Like I felt really bad. I was sending him messages and I'm like, I'm just really sorry. Like I don't act like that. Please understand I got out of a really bad relationship. It's like a wounded puppy, like, it's gonna bite and bark at the wrong people. But you're also not acting right either, if we're being honest. You are playing mental Hunger Games right now with emotional manipulation thrown in there as like obstacle courses. And it's not fair. So yeah, because I came at you and I said, hey, let's hook up immediately. And you turned it into everything else and then made it confusing, confused yourself, talking about something, I'm not your boyfriend, like Chowder, I'm not your boyfriend. Okay, you're not my friend, you're not my boyfriend, I'm trying to just hook up with you, this and the third, we're hooking up. You telling me some deep dark shit that you only really talk to about people you trust or like an actual licensed therapist who can emotionally handle that. So it was just really confusing, and I think it was his intention to confuse me and cause me to chase. I end up attracting those types, unfortunately, where they have this like, prove yourself, prove you're worthy of my love, even though you approached me first. And I told him, I was like, you really could have just left me alone. Like I ignored everybody in that club. Cause like, we met in a club, it's not that serious. I'm like, yeah, I wasn't taking anything serious. You made it serious the moment you made me your grief counselor and had me actually worried about you. Like I'm a caring person. And I think you knew that because you were talking about, oh, your energy, I felt drawn to you. So yeah. And now this caring person has a tendency to snap because too many people be having me fucked up and I'm sick of it. And I'm not going to keep taking on other people's hurt and hurting myself in the process. And now it's like, I call you out for that. And it's, oh my gosh, like, wow, you hurt me. Yeah, it works both ways. Like, I just don't utilize hurting other people because, like, what's that quote? They said, you don't know the violence it took to become this gentle. Like, so I'm sorry for what you're going through. And I kept trying to remember, like, he's grieving, leave him alone. Like, he's grieving, don't be hard on him. But I had this, like, you got me fucked up. That's, like, weird behavior. Like, clearly you're watching me, you're observing me. Like, even when you're watching me sleep, okay? Like, you're watching me virtually and you're watching me in person. but you're not acting right. So, oh no, but I really do actually hope he's okay. Like, I realize that I'm not in a place for hookups, relationships, none of it. I really was not trying to make this man my man. I was not like, you know, you meet somebody, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm thinking about the future. No, I was just trying to fuck. I was in my man mode. I was just trying to fuck. And then he hit me with that wild card. I was like, oh, whoa. So then I didn't know how to like behave towards him. Cause I'm like, do you need a friend? I thought he needed a friend. But then it was just kind of like, no, I need a friend right now, but now I'm going to fuck and now you're no one to me. And I was like, oh, yeah, we're not doing that. You're a dick. Like, and I'm gonna let you know you're a dick. So yeah, but I felt really bad. I know I had unsent all the messages, which is I know that looks really, really bad, but I unsent all the messages. Like, I was that mad because he had this like, my precious time, I'm talking to you. I was like, you don't even deserve to talk to me. Like, I unsent everything. And he replied, he's like, you know, screenshots exist. I'm like, yeah, I got all mine too. We both got screenshots of each other with this conversation. That's fine. Because like, your consequences have actions, this and that there. I was like, do whatever. Honey, do whatever. I was like, what you did was extremely hurtful. I'm so sorry for what you're going through. I unsent those messages as like, my logic was, you don't deserve to talk to me. Like, I don't give a go look at your screenshots. I don't want you to open this message thread, if you still even have it on IG, and be like, oh, look at her, I really played her. Like, no, I unsent everything. I was like, I should have charged. I charge men to talk to me for every message they send. You should have been the same. You should have been a client. So yeah, and it was just offensive because it's like, he's another sex worker. So like, acting like you understand. I was like, you got to understand, I be by myself all day doing my little work, chilling, and I like it. But I don't let men in, like physically in my presence. I don't. So with me recovering from my ex, for you to be the first one I let in and that's how you act, and then all the weird shit, you're copying my follower numbers, you're posting on the story, you're watching as soon as I post. Like, I don't know how to feel. Making it seem like, oh, I'm obsessed with you, but you're actually obsessed with me. Stop acting crazy. Like, what? I don't know what was going on, y'all. That was the weirdest experience I've ever had. But again, he is grieving, so I'm trying to be understanding. But I was sitting there like, what the fuck is happening? Like, he's fine and he's tall. He needs to improve his game for sure. But he also needs to improve on, like, I think he's just emotionally stunted and unavailable. But I wasn't asking for him to be available. I just asked him not to be a dick. You don't have to pour your heart out to me. And you're already pouring out a lot. It's heavy shit to take on. But like, also just don't be an asshole, because I don't know what the fuck's going on. So yeah, we haven't talked since. And I call him Budapest Boy. He was my learning lesson. And he's the reason why your girl ain't doing no hookups. Honey, your girl ain't doing no hookups. She got her toy right here. Let me plug it up. Okay? I'd be damned if I pick somebody and then not only do I get weak sex, but mind games, emotional war. I signed up for the Hunger Games Quest for Happiness. I didn't even know it. That whole interaction was kind of miserable, except for the parts that were kind of cute. But like, the rest was weird. No, because why did I go to sleep, have breakfast? I got a whole flight to catch, y'all. I can't talk to y'all long for real. I cannot miss this flight. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say with Hungarian, dude. Like, Budapest Boy had me fucked up. Because it's the fact that you did not come back when I was getting my feelings hurt. You came back to defend your dick. That's actual comedy. You came back. I don't know what's sad. Me trying to contact you or that being the thing that worked to contact you. That is crazy to me. So yeah, he came back to defend his dick game. I called him out on being an asshole. He came back like, no, this and the third. I was like, that's embarrassing. I was like, you're putting me through mental Hunger Games. And then like the product that was manufactured from the mental Hunger Games, you're like, wow, this is insane. Like, why are you acting like that? This is crazy. And I'm looking, I'm like, okay, like you're putting me through weird ass emotional shit just to turn around and be like, wow, that's crazy. It's so crazy that you'd act like that. That was a huge learning lesson for me, and why I just do not approve of hookup culture for myself, for real. Like, and he had this, oh, you being nosy, this, that. You are a stranger in my Airbnb. I am a black girl in Budapest. I don't know you. I do not know you. You could do anything right now. That's not okay. Like, that's nerve-wracking to me. So yeah, I'm asking you questions and being nosy or whatever, but like, and that's why I'm like giving out my IG too. Maybe he saw the followers and got funny. Maybe it didn't matter. If I had 2 followers or 2 million, he still would have acted the same. I don't know. But like, for me, it was a really weird encounter for me. And what happened after was just really weird too. It was that breadcrumb of like, oh my gosh, no, you're insane, you're bothering me, like just leave me alone, like what's going on? But I don't know. It was, I think he confused himself too, because for me it was just like, okay, if we're trying to hook up, let's hook up. And it was like, no, you're my friend. I'm gonna make you my grief counselor. No, I'm not talking to you ever again. No, I'm gonna ghost. But the fact that he came back on to defend his dick is crazy to me. I was like, so I gotta be mean. And I shouldn't have shamed him. I'll admit that. I think it was the SPH in my sex work, like small humiliation. I've been doing a lot of it. So I think I was like, you know what? You're my new client. Like, but I should not have done it. And I did feel really, really bad for it. I was like, you bad, blah, blah, blah. Like, you didn't even make me come. He's like, I wasn't trying to. I was like, oh, like, y'all. I was like, this is just getting more and more disappointing. But yeah, it had a huge emotional effect on me, and I had to like regulate again. And then he tried to blame it. He was like, I didn't even really get hard, to be honest, blah, blah, blah. It was because he was drunk, but he was still for it. He was like, okay, like, let's try to make it work. And then he tried to blame it on my pussy. I was like, no, be fucking for real. No, I'm serious. Be for real. Like, oh my God. But I should have listened. Like, he literally told me he was crazy, and my dumbass was like, well, what type? But yeah, and it was an attachment issue of like trying to prove my worth, because it was like, no, you don't get to come into my life, Mr. White Boy, Mr. Budapest Boy, Mr. Random Hungarian Man, and get what you need out of me, get the free therapy, get the pussy, get my attention and my time, and then go overinflate your importance and ego by ignoring me and acting like, oh, I'm so busy, please schedule me if you want to send a DM. That shit had me fucked up. So like, I'm really reserved about giving myself to people now, because that shit really actually did piss me off. I'm good now, but like, it made me feel gross, honestly. Like, I just felt gross afterwards. It could have been hot and sexy and steamy and intense, but it was just like, it was messy. He was sweating on my back. I was sitting there, I was like, damn, you're strong, but this is very forgettable. I was like, you're leaving condoms on the floor. I'm not your mother. That's nasty. Pick them up. Like, I'm offering hospitality and vibes, and you're literally the porn star, and you just coming in here and stressing me out and making my healing trip around Europe harder because you want to be weird, because you want to try to wreak havoc on my life, and that's not fair to me. Like, I'm a lover girl. If you have ill intentions, please stay far the fuck away from me. It's that simple. It's that simple. I invited you into my home. I invited you into myself. And that's how you gonna act. And I understand that's what hookups are. Like, I literally heard a man use the phrase pump and dump the other day. I was like, ugh. That's why I'm like, motherfuckers touching me, because it's really a conquest. And the way people switch up immediately after is disgusting and so like heartbreaking, for real. Like, for women, it's not fun out here for some people you interact with. So anyways, back to my celibacy. Okay, that's all I gotta say. Let me go catch this flight. Thank you for listening. I am taking accountability. I should have left him alone. I should have gave him more space while he was grieving. I should have just cared a lot less. Oh, okay, I'm sorry you're grieving and you told me all this dark, heavy stuff, but like, I don't know you, so at the end of the day, I'm not going to make you my responsibility. Another thing, I should not have gotten mean and body shamed him, and I should have minded my motherfucking business, okay? He shouldn't have did the things he did. At the end of the day, it's over with. That's it. Okay? Y'all be damned if you see me hooking up with somebody again. Anyways, I'll see y'all later. Bye. Be safe out there, please. Learning lesson, cautionary tale, my ladies. Because, honey, as soon as if you don't already know, you need to know. As soon as they become a whole different person. Trust. What's up, y'all? Okay, so I painted myself as problematic in this story, I'm sure. But the thing is, I'm not somebody who's going to paint myself as perfect and pretty in this. Okay, I'm a human. I am flawed. I learned, okay, that when people put you in positions or whatever that compromises your integrity, your spirit, your character, remove yourself. Just leave. You're thinking, oh, I'm telling them off, and they just wanted to see you angry. You're thinking, oh, I'll show them, and they just wanted to fight, okay? Because they mad at the world. So I will admit that I should have just left him alone. I felt like he was fucking with me based on what I told y'all in the story time. He acknowledged it. He even apologized. He's like, listen, this and the third, blah, 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 blah. And at that point, it really should have ended, but I just kind of wish it never started. I'm a very emotionally, like, volatile person sometimes, and I'm very sensitive, especially when it comes to sex. Okay, I don't give myself to people. This is the first person after years of being with somebody, and it was just, I was like, you're not gonna play me. And then for me also, I'll be straight up, as a black woman from America, mind you, and I'm not even gonna start getting into the racial undertones and how this country was built on the blood and backs of black people and other races who suffered while it was built. We're not gonna get into that, but I realize I do tend to date within my race or other people of color personally, just because there's a certain dynamic. I am open to everybody, but sometimes just it's being able to say the N-word around your baby, okay? It's certain things you don't feel like explaining with hair and bonnets and this, and that's personal preference. So I don't discriminate, but I have this, like, especially with power dynamics, I don't like getting played by anybody. I definitely do not like getting played outside of my race, specifically by some men, especially as a sex worker. I see race play, I see the fetishization. It's very uncomfortable. And as a foreigner, you go to these different places and people are like, oh, she's an easy lick, whatever it is, regardless of your race. So I was just trying to be careful because that shit hurts. The unfortunate truth is that some people really just want to experience you, but they do not seek to really connect or understand you. And that was my problem with this situation, to be honest. It was too much. But anyways, thank y'all for watching. I'll see y'all later. Bye. And also be careful who you give yourself to.